Hello everyone, my name is Keely. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm gonna make this quick because this video is gonna be long. I am starting 31 movies in 31 days, so my goal is to watch 31 movies in the month of October. I love horror and I don't get scared easily. I have seen a lot of the great ones, but there's also so many that I haven't seen as well. So let's just start with day one. Alright everyone, so it is October 1st. So it is day one of 31 movies in 31 days. Let's see if I can keep this up. But it's time for my first movie. So I felt like my first movie pick was very important for this project. And I went back and forth with so many different ones, but I have settled on The Black Phone, and this is streaming on Peacock. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I have really been interested in it recently, so I'm gonna give it a try. I just finished The Black Phone, and I really loved it. So this follows 13-year-old Finney, and it is set in the 70s. The 70s vibes are immaculate. And we follow Finney, and at this time there is a kidnapper on the loose, presumably a serial killer, named the Grabber. And Finney has been captured by the Grabber and locked in a basement, and there is a black phone in this basement that has been disconnected. It doesn't work, but yet he still keeps getting phone calls from the previous victims of the Grabber. So first of all, I love anything with a supernatural element or a supernatural twist, and this definitely had that, and I really enjoyed it. The two child actors were so good. I really love them, and I really want to watch more from them. And the sibling dynamic in this movie was one of the best sibling dynamics I have ever seen. I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go ahead and rate these movies out of 5 pumpkins. So I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5 pumpkins because it is not my favorite, but I still really loved it and definitely recommend The Black Phone. It is October 2nd, which means it is day 2 of 31 and 31, so it is time to pick my next scary movie. Alright, so today I started using a random wheel to help me choose which streaming service, which I filmed for my TikTok, and it landed on Paramount+. So I went to my list, and this is the first movie that was on my list, The Ring, which I feel like is a classic horror movie that I have yet to see. So hopefully it scares me. I've heard that this one is like a classic scary movie. Alright, so 1 hour and 55 minutes later, and I have finished The Ring. So this movie is about a mysterious tape, and anytime someone watches the tape, they have 7 days to live, and then something kills them, they die in some way. We don't know how they die or why they die, what happens. So we follow this woman, and she watches the tape, and so it counts down the 7 days, and she is trying to figure out how she can survive this. So I loved that it counted each day, so we got to see day 1, day 2, and so on and so forth. I love when movies or stories do that and they have like a timeline countdown. I will say I am very conflicted on how I feel because I did not really like the ending. So I thought it ended, I was satisfied, I was like, okay, good ending, that's cool. And then something happened and I did not like it, and I was very mad about it, and I was still having questions. I was like, okay, but it didn't answer why this is happening or how this is happening. But then the other, like the true ending, it explained all that, so I answered all the questions, but there was still something that happened that I was mad about. So I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 pumpkins. It was good and it was like spooky and creepy and suspenseful, but I'm still just mad about it. Alright, it is October 3rd, Happy Mean Girls Day, which means it is time for day 3 of 31. So let's go find out our streaming service of the day and pick out a movie. Alright, my streaming service today is Hulu. Time to go find a movie. Alright, so my pick for today is Oculus. I've never seen this one, but I'm pretty sure I heard a lot of praise for it when it came out in 2013, so hopefully it's as good as everyone says. Alright, 1 hour and 45 minutes later, and I finished Oculus. So this follows a pair of siblings who, when they were children, something really tragic happened in their house, and they believe it all comes back to this haunted mirror. The sister has done a lot of research, and apparently everyone who owns this mirror ends up dying in some really brutal way. So we're following them, and they're trying to break this curse. So this is one of those movies where you don't know if it's real or if it's all in their head, and I generally hate that trope. I really don't like that. I like to know what's going on and why it's happening. I don't like to be like, okay, but did that actually happen? Did they actually die? Or is this person actually doing this? I don't know. This is one of those where you never know, and I just don't like that. So I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5 pumpkins. It kind of reminded me a lot of The Shining movie. I love The Shining book, but I hate The Shining movie because it's one of those where you just don't know what's going on. So yeah, not my favorite. Alright, it is October 4th, so it is time for day 4 of 31 and 31. So let's go spin the wheel and find out our streaming service. Alright, our streaming service for today is Prime Video. Let's go do it. Alright, the movie I chose for today is Candyman. This is a newer movie. It came out in 2021, and I remember being interested in the trailers when it first came out, so hopefully it's a good one. So an hour and 31 minutes later, and I finished Candyman. So this movie is based on the legend, if you say the name 5 times in a mirror, he will appear and kill you. This movie has heavy social commentary on like gentrification and racism and things like that. I love when serious topics like that are done in horror because it like really emphasizes the true destruction these things bring. I will say like the first 30 minutes was really slow, and this is only an hour-and-a-half movie, so 30 minutes being slow is a lot, but I loved the gore in this one. It was really bloody and really gory, but I think I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 pumpkins just because the beginning was pretty slow. Alright, I just got back from work and it is Wednesday, October 5th, which means it's time for day 5 of 31 and 31. I am gonna go spin the wheel for what streaming service we are going to choose. I'm really in the mood for like a haunted house type of thing, or maybe like a possession story. I want something like that. I love those stories, but I feel like I've seen them all, so I don't know if there's a lot to be seen left from that, or if I should rewatch a favorite like The Conjuring or something. I don't know. First we have to pick the streaming service, and then I'll let you know what movie we're watching. So the streaming service we landed on today was Tubi. Now this one is one that I haven't actually looked at or made a list for, so hopefully there's some good movies on there. Alright, I decided on Evil Dead. This is the 2013 edition. It seems like there's going to be spooky cabin vibes and maybe some possession, so we'll see. An hour and 31 minutes later, and I finished Evil Dead. So this movie follows a group of people who go stay at a cabin in the woods. They find a book in the basement, and one of them accidentally summons an entity, and possession begins, and lots of murder. This was bad. This was so bad. This is the first flop of this series. I'm probably assuming we're gonna get many others. That happens a lot of times in horror. You get really great ones and really, really bad ones. And this was a really, really bad one. It was extremely bloody, which I'll give it that. I love that. Super gory, super bloody. But it was so dumb. Everything the characters did or everything that happened was so dumb. And I understand in horror a lot of times there's the trope of the dumb characters that do the worst possible thing, and I hate that. And this movie definitely did that. It was just so dumb. It was so dumb, and I wasted an hour and a half of my life. But if you couldn't tell, 1 out of 5 pumpkins. Hopefully tomorrow's better. Alright, it is October 6th, which means it is time for day 6 of 31 and 31. I am excited because today the wheel landed on Hulu, and I know they have really good movies on there, so we better get a good one today. Alright, today I am watching a classic. I'm gonna watch The Blair Witch Project, which I don't think I've ever seen before, but part of me feels like I have, but I obviously don't remember it well enough. But yes, this is a very highly acclaimed, popular movie. Alright, an hour and 22 minutes later, and I finished The Blair Witch Project, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It was so bad. This is a documentary style movie where 3 people go to the woods to kind of hunt down this myth about a Blair Witch, and they get lost. It is so bad. It is so boring. Nothing happens, and all they do is yell at each other the whole time. All the characters are so annoying, and I hated it. So 1 out of 5 pumpkins. If I could give it less than that, I would. Alright, it is October 7th, which means it is time for day 7 of 31 and 31, and hopefully I get a good one today because I am so tired of flops. Very devastated to announce that we will be watching from Tubi today. I was not looking forward to this one again because we didn't have great luck last time, so hopefully we can find a better movie today. Alright, I'm gonna go with Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. This says that it came out in 2011, but Google says 2010, so sometime around there. Katie Holmes and Bailey Madison are in it, so hopefully that means it's a good one. 1 hour and 39 minutes later, and I finished Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about this one. So this is actually a fantasy horror. We follow this little girl who goes to move into this giant manor with her father and his girlfriend as they are fixing up this manor. And she finds these little creatures in the basement and tries to befriend them. But they aren't very friendly creatures. So I wasn't sure how I felt about the fantasy horror at first, but then it became really fascinating when all of the lore was explained, so I really enjoyed that. But the ending kind of lost me. Like, what was that ending? Like, why did you have to do that? But I think I'm gonna settle on 3 out of 5 pumpkins. Like, that's just what I'm feeling. So not great, but not horrible. It's October 8th, which means it is day 8 of 31 and 31. And I'm thinking of rewatching a favorite because I need something good. So we'll see what service I land on and then go from there. Alright, the wheel landed on Paramount Plus today, which I am hopeful for because they have good movies on there. So we'll see if there is something I can rewatch that I love or just pick a new one. Okay, so I've decided not to rewatch a favorite because Paramount Plus just has so many movies that I want to watch and they all look so good. So I'm going to choose Significant Other, which just came out and it is a Paramount Plus original. I saw the trailer for this like yesterday and I was like, okay, I need to watch that. So we're gonna go with this. 1 hour and 24 minutes later and I finished Significant Other. So this movie is about a young couple that goes backpacking through the Pacific Northwest and some sinister things start happening to them. And that's all I can tell you because this movie is wild and unexpected and I really liked it. It's so weird, but I really liked it and I literally cannot tell you anything about it because I did not see any of that coming. Not a new favorite, but I still loved it, and I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 pumpkins. Alright, it is October 9th, which means it is time for day 9 of 31 and 31. So the streaming service we landed on today was Prime Video. Let's go pick out a movie. So this might be a mistake because I've never heard of this movie before, but I'm going to choose The Deep House because it looks like it is underwater horror, and water horror is really one of the only things that can freak me out, and I'm trying to get scared here, okay? So we'll see. 1 hour and 25 minutes later and I finished The Deep House, and this is basically a haunted house underwater, and that's all you really need to know. There's not much to it. I will say the claustrophobic underwater vibes were definitely there, but I was pretty bored the whole time. I will say though, this is the first movie of 31 and 31 that has given me a jump scare, but I was still pretty bored the whole time, so I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5 pumpkins. Alright people, it is October 10th, which means it is time for day 10 of 31 and 31. We are 10 days in. Let's get a good one. Alright, today the wheel landed on Prime Video again. Very excited for this because there's some good movies on Prime Video. I've officially decided on He's Out There, which came out in 2018, and it stars Yvonne Strahovski, and I love her, so hopefully this is a good one. 1 hour and 29 minutes later and I finished He's Out There. So this follows a mother who takes her 2 young daughters to a secluded cabin for vacation, and they have to survive the night when a psychopath comes after them and tries to play games with them. So this was very suspenseful and really a lot bloodier than I expected. I really enjoyed it. Now, if you are a person that doesn't enjoy children in your horror movies, then this might not be for you because these kids were incredibly annoying, as most children in horror movies are, in my opinion. But I still loved it nonetheless, and I'm giving it 4 out of 5 pumpkins. This is one of my favorites that I've watched so far. It's October 11th, which means it is time for day 11 of 31 and 31. Very excited because we landed on Prime Video, and I think this is the 3rd day in the row for this, and they have really good movies, so I'm very excited. Okay, today I'm going to watch My Best Friend's Exorcism. This is actually a book-to-movie adaptation, and the author is one of my favorite authors. I enjoyed the book, so hopefully I enjoyed the movie. Alright, 1 hour and 39 minutes later and I finished My Best Friend's Exorcism. So if you don't know, this is just like the title says. It follows 2 best friends, one of them gets possessed and the other one tries to save her best friend. This is also set in the 80s, so the 80s vibes of this movie were so much fun. Okay, like I said, Grady Hendrix is one of my favorite authors of all time, but My Best Friend's Exorcism is not one of my favorite books by him. I thought it was just okay, and the movie is so much better than the book in my opinion, which is crazy because so many people love this book a lot. So if you love the book, I definitely recommend watching the movie. It is so good. I also love the different things that this demon does when it's possessing a high school girl, because a lot of the things it does are very like high school drama to the extreme, and I just really loved it and I highly recommend it. And it is the first movie from 31 and 31 to get 5 pumpkins from me. Loved it so much. It's October 12th, which means it is time for day 12 of 31 and 31. I am incredibly busy today and I have a very small window to watch a movie, so I'm looking for a short one today. So The Wheel landed on Netflix today. I can't remember if I've spun Netflix yet, but here we go, let's do it. Alright, today I'm going to try No Escape Room. I've never heard of this. It came out in 2018, so hopefully it's a good one. 1 hour and 25 minutes later and I finished No Escape Room. So basically this is about people that go to an escape room and they quite literally have to escape for their lives. I'm gonna be honest, didn't really pay attention because it was quite boring. But the characters didn't annoy me, so I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5 pumpkins. It's October 13th, which means it is time for day 13 of 31. Too bad it is not Friday, it is Thursday. Today, The Wheel chose Peacock, so let's go find a movie. Okay, today I'm choosing Sinister. I don't think I've ever seen this one, but I think it is one of the top horror movies that everyone talks about, so let's do it. Absolutely not. No, I'm literally in the middle of Sinister, and our power just went out. Like, I know it looks all bright because it's daylight, but like, right when they were in the middle of talking about like occult stuff, our power went out. No thank you. Alright, Keely from the future here, because I forgot to update you on my thoughts on Sinister, which is such a shame because this was like my favorite movie of the month. It is so creepy. It is a movie about this man who moves into a new house with his family, and he is a true crime writer, author. So he moves into this house where a murder has occurred, unbeknownst to his family. He finds snuff films in the attic, and as he starts watching them, some sinister things start happening. And it was so creepy. It was honestly so much darker than anything like I had seen before because of the snuff films. It was so unique and just very, very interesting, and I absolutely loved it. And I cannot believe I forgot to update the vlog about it because it was like my first favorite movie of this month, and it is one of the standouts for me. It's October 14th, which means it is time for day 14 of 31 and 31. I'm about to be in the car for 3 hours, so today we are watching this movie in the car. And also, we are not spinning the wheel today because yesterday I watched Sinister, and then I realized that there is a Sinister 2, and it is on Netflix. But when I looked at it, it said leaving Netflix October 15th, which is tomorrow. So today is the only day I can watch this, and so we are watching Sinister 2. Okay, so we just finished our 3-hour road trip, and on the 3 hours, I finished Sinister 2. Netflix is a liar though because it took it off early, even though it was supposed to take it off tomorrow. So I rented it on Prime Video, and I really enjoyed it. I like how we explored more of how it happens. That's all I want to say because I don't want to spoil the first one. But I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one because there were some characters in this one that made me really angry. So I'm giving it 4 out of 5 pumpkins. It's October 15th, which means it is time for day 15 of 31 and 31. I am back home now, so it is time to watch a movie in bed. Today, The Wheel chose Peacock, and I'm excited because we had good luck with this one last time, so hopefully we have good luck today. Alright, the movie I'm watching today is You're Next. This one came out in 2013, and I think it's a final girl movie, so let's see it. 1 hour and 34 minutes later, and I just finished You're Next. So this is a slasher survivalist movie, final girl trope. Basically, there's a family staying at this house in the middle of nowhere, and men in animal masks break in and kill them one by one. So I am not usually a slasher movie fan. I typically don't like them, but I love this. Like, nobody saw it coming. I actually love this. I think she's the coolest final girl ever. Like, genuinely, I haven't watched a lot because I don't like them, but I think she's the coolest ever. Love her. Not really crazy about the ending, but I think I'm still going to give it 5 out of 5 pumpkins because I'm so thrilled that I liked a slasher movie. It is October 16th, and that means it is time for day 16 of 31 and 31. Alright, the wheel landed on Peacock yet again, so let's go pick a movie. Alright, so I decided on Peacock I'm going to watch all of the Horrors of Blumhouse movies because I love Blumhouse productions. I thought about watching They Them today, but it's 1 hour and 44 minutes, and I want something a little shorter. So I'm going to go ahead with The Visit, which is 1 hour and 33 minutes. It came out in 2015, so let's do it. 1 hour and 33 minutes later, and I just finished The Visit. So this is filmed documentary style, and we follow 2 young siblings who are going to stay with their grandparents who they have never met. Over the course of the week, strange things start occurring, and they might have to fight for their life. I didn't realize that this was written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and I love him. But, however, this movie was kind of boring. When the night scenes happened, it got really creepy and I was interested, but during the day I was just pretty bored. So not bad, but also not great. So I think I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5 pumpkins just because it was pretty boring. It's October 17th, which means it is time for day 17 of 31 and 31. Today I'm not spinning the wheel because there is a particular movie that I want to watch that I didn't think was on any streaming service, and I've been wanting to watch it for years, but yesterday my sister let me know that you can watch it for free on Redbox with ads, but it's still free and I can watch it, and that movie is Halloween, the original Halloween movie. The final one, I think it's the final one, Halloween Ends, just came out this week, I believe, or last week, something like that. And I've never watched the franchise because every streaming service has all of them except for the first one, but Redbox has it for free. So I'm gonna go watch that today and I will let you know how it goes. Alright, it's finally time, 1978, Halloween. I feel like I'm putting so much pressure on myself to like this movie. I've hyped it up, but it is a slasher and I don't typically like slashers, so we'll see how it goes. Okay. I just finished Halloween, and listen, I know this is a classic, but oh, I hated it. I mean, oh my gosh. Listen, I understand. I get it, truly. But the kills were dumb. Like, nothing. Like, they were so dumb. And this movie was so boring. Like, so boring. I will continue with the franchise because I'm hoping that it gets more interesting or like more gory or something as time goes on, but this just was not it. I'm giving it a 1 out of 5 pumpkins. I really did not like it. Alright people, it is October 18th, which means it is time for day 18 of 31 and 31. Unfortunately, the wheel landed on Tubi today. Not excited about this. Probably not going to enjoy the movie, but let's go try to find something. So I'm gonna go with The Cave. This came out in 2005 and it sounds like it is an underwater horror, and water horror is my favorite subgenre, so hopefully this is a good one. 1 hour and 37 minutes later and I just finished The Cave. So this follows a group of people who are going on an underwater expedition into an unknown cave, and there are some not so friendly creatures basically. I really enjoyed this one. I loved like the underwater claustrophobic scenes. The setting of the cave was really cool. The cave was beautiful. And the creatures were really interesting as well. But like that ending, like is there a sequel? Because I have questions. But I think I'm gonna give this one 4 out of 5 pumpkins. I really enjoyed it. It's October 19th, so that means it is time for day 19 of 31 and 31. So like usual, let's go spin the wheel to find out what streaming service we're gonna use. Alright, so today the wheel landed on Paramount Plus. We haven't landed on this one in a while, so let's go find a movie. Okay, I am super excited for today's movie because I am going with The Grudge, a classic 2004 horror movie that I have never seen, so I'm very excited. 1 hour and 31 minutes later, and I just finished The Grudge. So this is based on like Japanese myth, and I really love that. I have been wanting to see this forever because like I said, it's a classic, and I'm so glad that I finally watched it. I thought it was creepy, and also the sound effects my stomach was making because I'm hungry matched The Grudge perfectly, so it was great. But yeah, I thought it was creepy. I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. Is it Gellar or Gellar? One of those. I like her. And I think she did really well. But yeah, it was good. There were some slow parts, but I also thought it was really cool how they explained the lore and everything, and I thought it was good, but not my new favorite, so I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 pumpkins. Alright, it is October 20th, which means it is time for day 20 of 31 and 31. We are 20 days in. Hopefully we get a good one today. Alright, the wheel landed on Peacock today. We've had good luck with this streaming service before, so hopefully we have a good one today too. Alright, I'm probably gonna regret this, but I'm gonna watch Halloween 2 from 1981. I watched the first one the other day and I hated it, but I'm committed, so we're gonna watch this today. Okay, I finished Halloween 2 and I truly do not get how there are 40 years worth of these movies. Like, I desperately hate them. Like, they're so boring, so bad, so cheesy, just, I could fall asleep to them, honestly. 1 out of 5 pumpkins. Alright y'all, it is October 21st, which means it is time for day 21 of 31 and 31. We have 10 days left, and I'm gonna be honest, I am ready to be done. It is kind of exhausting trying to fit a movie in every day when you're just really busy. Alright, the wheel landed on Hulu today, and I'm pretty excited because we haven't had Hulu in a while, so let's go choose a movie. So I'm gonna watch Lights Out today. This came out in 2016 and it stars Teresa Palmer, and I really like her, so hopefully this one pulls through for us. 1 hour and 22 minutes later, and I just finished Lights Out. So this follows a girl and her kid brother, and there is a entity tied to their mother that appears only when the lights are out. I loved this so much. I think genuinely it is the scariest movie I've ever seen. Like, and it might just be because I am actually scared of the dark. 26 years old, still scared of the dark, yes. It's like one of those things where, you know, when you're going to bed and you look in the corner of your room and the shadow looks like a human. This movie is that, but like real. And so it just made it so scary, and it was so good, so intense. There were so many jumps. I really loved it. New favorite, 5 out of 5 pumpkins. Good afternoon. It is October 22nd, which means it is time for day 22 of 31 and 31. So let's go spin the wheel. The wheel landed on Prime Video today. I'm pretty sure we've had really good luck with this service, so let's go get a good one again. This was really hard to decide on because there were so many movies I wanted to watch. But I'm going to go with The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This was from 2014, and it's actually set in Texarkana, which I've been to, and I didn't realize until the trailer started playing, this is a Blumhouse Productions movie, which I'm very excited for. 1 hour and 26 minutes later, and I just finished The Town That Dreaded Sundown, and you don't really need a synopsis. All you really need to know is that this is a slasher, and it's actually loosely based on murders that happened in Texarkana in 1946, I believe. I actually really liked it, which I don't know what's going on because I hate slashers, and the slasher movies I've been watching have been pretty good. I liked it, but the ending, I literally had to like go back a few times and rewatch it for it to make sense in my head. But yeah, I think I was okay with it, but I'm still not quite sure. So I'm gonna end up giving it 4 out of 5 pumpkins. It's October 23rd, which means it is time for day 23 of 31 and 31. And I'm gonna be honest right now, I don't feel like watching a movie, but we gotta do it. Alright, very glad we landed on Prime Video today. This is a good one, so hopefully we can push through and watch a good movie. Alright, for today I chose Goodnight Mommy. This came out this year, so it's a new movie. Yesterday I was reading an article about movies that made people throw up or pass out, and this was one of them, so here's hoping. 1 hour and 32 minutes later, and I just finished Goodnight Mommy. Now, I didn't realize there's also a 2013 version of this, I think, and I think they're the same movie, but this one was the 2022 edition, and we follow twin boys, and when their mom comes home from the hospital, I'm guessing, she has bandages all over her face, and they don't believe that she is their mother. And that is one of my complaints about this, is we were never told why she had these bandages, where she was, what happened, any of that. And that is my big problem with this, is I love explanations. I love to be told exactly why things happen, like how they happen, all of that stuff. And I just felt like there were so many things where I was left questioning at the end of it. It was a good movie. I had a great time watching it, but there was just so much that I wanted explained still. So I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 pumpkins, but I will say the kid actors in this, the twins, love them, would die for them. Like, they were so good. But yeah, 3 pumpkins. Alright, it is October 24th, which means it is time for day 24 of 31 and 31. Our power is currently out, so I'm gonna have to do all of this on my phone. I'm gonna have to watch my movie on my phone, and I'm gonna have to spin the wheel on my phone. So I will spin the wheel, let you know what we get, and then I will choose a movie. Alright, I just spun the wheel on my phone, and we landed on Peacock. Alright, I'm gonna go with another Blumhouse Productions movie, and this is Mercy. It came out in 2014, and it's only 1 hour and 18 minutes, so I am curious. Alright, I just finished Mercy, and I don't know how much to tell you, because, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. But the basic premise is we follow a family, so a mom and her 2 boys, and they are going to live with grandma because grandma's really sick and not doing well, so they're gonna go home and take care of her. And then some weird things start happening, and I guess that's pretty much all I'm going to tell you. So this is actually based on a short story from Stephen King called Grandma, and I feel like I'm going to like the short story a lot better than the movie, because the movie was just not it for me. I thought it was pretty boring and just kind of dumb, and then when all the action started happening, it was pretty cheesy. So yeah, not for me, but I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 pumpkins. It's October 25th, which means it is time for day 25 of 31 and 31. Alright, the wheel did great for us again today, and we landed on Prime Video, so time to pick out a movie. Today I'm going to try The Taking of Deborah Logan. This came out in 2014, has a high rating, and I've heard that it is extremely creepy. Okay, 1 hour and 30 minutes later, and I just finished The Taking of Deborah Logan, and I loved it. So this is filmed documentary style, and it is about a woman who has just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And so this girl is doing her thesis on Alzheimer's and how it progresses and affects caregivers. But as they are documenting this process, weird things start happening, and it might not just be about Alzheimer's. I thought this was incredible. I am not normally a documentary style movie person. I thought I was, but then I have watched recent ones and I was like, no, this is not for me. The way this was shot was just incredible, and it was shot more stable than other documentary style movies I've seen. I thought it was creepy, I thought it was interesting, I thought it was gory. I just really, really loved it, and I'm giving it 5 out of 5 pumpkins. Alright y'all, it is October 26th, which means it is time for day 26 of 31 and 31. I feel like we are in the home stretch. Well, we landed on Tubi today. Not excited, but let's go pick a movie. So I've decided on Terrifier today. This came out in 2016. I think the sequel made lists of like movies that make people like pass out and stuff, so I'm excited for this one. Alright, I just finished Terrifier, and this movie is essentially about a killer clown, and oh my goodness, this was brutal, gory, disgusting, repulsive, and it was just really great. Like, it was kind of like horrible, but in a really great way. It was like, it had some of the worst kills I've ever seen, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the sequel. It actually just came out in theaters this month, which I thought it was already out, but on platforms, but I didn't realize it was in theaters currently. But I'm very much looking forward to watching the sequel. I think I'm gonna give this one 5 pumpkins. I don't know, am I being too lenient? But that's where I'm settling right now. Alright, you know what day it is? It is October 27th, which means it is time for day 27 of 31 and 31. For the second day in a row, the wheel landed on Tubi. We had good luck yesterday, so hopefully that carries on over for today. Alright, today I've chosen All Hallows Eve. This came out in 2012, and I'm pretty sure it's the same clown from Terrifier, so hopefully that means it'll be just as good. Alright, so I just finished All Hallows Eve, and my best guess at what this movie was about is it follows a babysitter who finds a VHS tape, and this VHS tape is like an anthology horror story collection type thing. I tried looking it up, and it seems like a bunch of directors came together and they each had a different like horror story on the VHS tape. Don't really know, don't really care, didn't have a great time. I'm giving it 1 out of 5 pumpkins. It's October 28th, which means it is time for day 28 of 31 and 31. Alright, so my sister and I decided to watch a movie together today, so we decided to forego the wheel and we chose No One Gets Out Alive on Netflix. Alright, so we just finished watching No One Gets Out Alive, and honestly it's hard to tell you what this movie's about because I really don't know that much. I think it follows this girl who moves into a boarding house and people keep like moving out, which I think means go missing. What'd you think?
It was boring.
So boring. She fell asleep, I almost fell asleep. It was so boring, nothing was scary, nothing was like jump worthy. Not great. How many pumpkins?
1.
1 pumpkin. If that, like 0. 0 pumpkins. Alright, it is October 29th, which means it is time for day 29 of 31 and 31. Alright, the wheel landed on Paramount Plus today, so let's go pick out a movie. I've decided on Orphan First Kill today. I enjoyed the first one when I watched it years ago, so hopefully this one is just as good. Alright, I just finished Orphan First Kill, and I'm pretty sure this is actually a prequel, and honestly, I loved it. Lena has a way of making you root for her, even though you know she's a psychotic killer. You're just like, yes, Lena, go for it. But I really enjoyed it. Also, the main actress who plays Lena, she is also in the Hunger Games, and this role and the Hunger Games role are essentially the same character, and I love it. Honestly, they could keep doing movies in this franchise, and I would just eat it up. Like, I love them. But I'm gonna give it 4 pumpkins, because it's not an all-time favorite, but it's just so much fun. Alright, y'all, it is October 30th, which means it is time for day 30 of 31 and 31. We got 2 more days left of this, and I'm very excited to be done. Alright, I was hoping for Hulu today, but we got Paramount Plus, so let's go choose a movie. Alright, this feels like vlogception right now, because this guy, but I'm gonna watch Paranormal Activity, The Marked Ones today. This is one of the newer ones, and this says right here that critics are calling it the best in the series. So I just finished Paranormal Activity, The Marked Ones, and let me tell you, I first watched the original movie when I was 13 years old. I'm now 26, and when I first watched it, I thought it was the scariest thing of all time. I've always been so scared of it. I have never rewatched it or like really continued with a lot of them because I always thought they were so scary. And as the years have gone by, everyone's like, those are boring. And I was like, no, they're literally so scary. And they're boring. These movies are boring. This movie was boring. It's so boring. And everyone was so annoying. So I'm giving it 1 out of 5 pumpkins. Not a great way to end the month, but tomorrow we have one more day to get it right. Alright y'all, it is finally the day. It is October 31st, which means it is time for day 31 of 31 and 31. It is the last day of this series, and so I'm going to forgo the wheel. I'm going to choose my own movie because I want to rewatch my favorite. It is Halloween, so I want to rewatch a movie I know is going to be really great. So I'm going to watch It Chapter 1. Alright, it is time for my final update of 31 and 31. I just finished it, and like I already said, this was a rewatch for me because it is one of my favorite movies, and not only is it my favorite horror movie, it is my favorite movie of all time. This rewatch just solidified that for me. I love these characters, I love the friendships, I love the story, and the actors in this movie are truly iconic and nobody could have done it better. What a great movie to end on. I mean, I had to watch that movie this month. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I honestly don't know if anyone has watched to this point. If you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave the red balloon emoji because of Pennywise the Clown. But yeah, I think I'm gonna make this quick because I know this video is long, but the standouts, other than it, the standouts from this month are Sinister, Lights Out, and maybe My Best Friend's Exorcism because that one really surprised me. But I had a great time with this. Let me know if you watched any horror movies in the month of October. I would love to know. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, all my social media links will be down below. Bye!